Good day, students. My name is Jason John Solivio, and for today's video, I'll go ahead and show you how to properly adjust or tune up your motorcycle engine. And for us to start, we need to gather all the tools needed for us to proceed. What we need here first is our feeler gauge. This will help us check and adjust the proper valve clearance of our motorcycle engine. The second one is our valve adjusting tool, which is going to be used for us to adjust or tighten and loosen our valve. We also need an 8 mm wrench. It is for us to remove or loosen the bolt for our cover. And lastly, we need to have this 16 mm socket wrench for us to go ahead and look for the top dead center, in which I will go ahead and discuss with you later on. And for our next step, what we need to locate is the rocker arm of our engine. Now we need to make sure that the intake and exhaust rocker arm should feel loose and have a slight wiggle. This process, we need to go ahead and use our valve adjustment tool for us to tighten and loosen this. But if you don't have any valve adjustment tool, we can actually use an 8 mm we can use a 10 mm socket wrench so that we could go ahead and loosen and tighten this valve clearance. And for our third step, we need to go ahead and look for the top dead center of our engine. Now, what you will see here is the letter T mark, which indicates that that is the top dead center. What you need to do is to go ahead and align the mark of the letter T using this 16 mm socket wrench and put it here. Okay. Now we will need to go ahead and rotate the engine so that we could go ahead and do the top dead center. Now we have finally set the top dead center of our motorcycle engine. We need to determine which one is the intake and the exhaust part of our valve. So one thing to consider is to check where is your carburetor, because that's where the intake valve is, and for your muffler, that's where your exhaust valve is. So for this specific engine that we are discussing right now, this one is the exhaust and this one is the intake. And based on the standard specification of this engine, it is roughly 0.5 millimeter, 0.05 millimeter for the intake and 0.08 millimeter for the exhaust. So, in this process, we will go ahead and loosen up the lock nuts so that we could go ahead and adjust our valve clearance. Now, just like what I've discussed earlier, our intake should be 0.05 millimeter for the standard specification of this engine. Now, all that you have to do is just put the feeler gauge here. Now, for us to adjust the valve clearance, just rotate your valve lock nut. Now, it should not be too tight or too loose. Once you fully determine the clearance of your valve, now we can go ahead and tighten this one. So this time, we need to use our adjustment tool so that we could go ahead and lock it in place. And there you have it. The same goes with our exhaust valve. And there you go. Congratulations, students, because we are now done with our tune-up for this motorcycle engine. Now, for our last step, don't forget to put all of these necessary parts that you have removed when you were disassembling this engine.